You know, for a lot of guys, this day is a big day on their calendar. It's opening day of the Missouri rifle season.
And over in Ohio, bow season is almost up. Aaron's been hunting for his most wanted for almost the entire season. And with not much to show, even after all this time in the blind. Stick around to see what happens right here on Most Wanted.
The Whitetail Institute of North America presents Scent Blocker Most Wanted, brought to you by the Whitetail Institute of North America. Research equals results. Ford and your quality Ford dealers. Matthews Archery. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Scent Blocker. Nothing gets you closer. And Mossy Oak. It's not a passion, it's an obsession.
You know, for a lot of guys, this day is a big day on their calendar. It's opening day of the Missouri rifle season. And weather's pretty good. We're set up in an incredible spot. You know, we're hunting between Foley and Ellsbury, Missouri. And a good friend of ours, Steve, has got a duck club here, but he was gracious enough to allow me to come in here and deer hunt. And he's actually wanting to sell a few deer hunts for next year and get into deer hunting. And I can see why. As we walk up and down this ridge right here, it is full of monster rubs. It looks like elk have been in here. Out here, they've already cut the corn, but knowing that he's kind of a hunter himself, Steve left some beans. So we've already got first light, got 2 does out here in the field, and hopefully with the rut on, where the does go, the bucks will follow.
One of the newest Most Wanted crew members is Aaron Zimmerman, an avid hunter from Ohio who loves to hunt big bucks in his home state.
I'm trying to be super quiet. I've already had a buck on his feet off to my right. This is our first evening back in Ohio hunting. It's November 22nd, and we just spent a couple great weeks out in Oklahoma and Kansas. In fact, just wrapped up our time out at Hingham Outfitters in Pratt, Kansas last week, and you know, it was the most incredible experience I've ever had. I've hunted out there 4 years now, but never in all my time have I seen so many shooters in such a small window of time. Just an absolute giant within 7 yards of us, and just couldn't make it happen. The camera was on him, but I couldn't see him through the blind, the window I was shooting out of.
Scent Blocker's Most Wanted is brought to you by Covert Scouting Cameras, a camera for every need and budget, and Premier Farm Realty Group and Auction. Own a slice of America's heartland. Scent Blocker Most Wanted is brought to you by Element Archery, built to hunt, and Thorn Broadheads, driving accuracy through hidden blade technology.
There's a big buck going out across the field. Oh yeah, that's one of the deer we're looking for. Unfortunately, he's going that way and that way, the wrong way. He's standing there, just got to the road, there by the yellow sign. I don't know if he'd been shot at or shot. Act a little gimpy. Oh man. You know, this big open plowed field with 2 strips of woods running out, we felt that we could get deer pushing does and running from one side to the other. And with the old Browning, I'm shooting a 300 WSM. That's a Winchester short mag. And it's, you know, I've got it sighted in. We can shoot 200, 300, 400 yards if we have to. And I would say that that deer was 800 yards. Probably farther than I can shoot. Oh man.
Back in Ohio, Aaron's long season hunting his most wanted was just getting started. And there was plenty of deer activity, just not the right kind. This small Whitetail Institute wintergreens food plot in a bow hunting only area was a safe haven for deer during Ohio's gun season.
Well, we're back in Orange. Again, this is the Friday of Ohio's gun season. And I gotta be honest, this is the 3rd year in a row that I have bow hunted during gun season and been sweating. It's just unbelievable. We were up in the low 50s again today. No wind, no breeze, just sunshine, which, you know, I'll take it once deer season's over, but not exactly ideal for what we're hoping for. But today, the reason I am out and not just giving some of these spots a break is we have a huge problem with trespassing and poaching on this ground. So, for note, and we've got a deer right here. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, 50 degrees, and I've got a doe coming onto the food plot. I'm gonna slowly turn the camera around. Wasn't not much different than this last year when I killed my Ohio buck. In fact, it was almost the exact same time too. Gun season had been out for a week. We had a cold front move through, and we had set up last year over top of our Whitetail Institute food plot, which was at the time planted in wintergreens. Size of the food plot, put in more wintergreens, and we've actually still have some left. They've absolutely demolished this plot, but there is still enough here to pull them in.
Scent Blocker's Most Wanted is brought to you by IM Performance Nutrition, fueling the outdoor athlete. And Matthews Archery. Scent Block Most Wanted is brought to you by Mission by Matthews. And Kirsch Targets. Train smart, finish strong.
Man, how things change. I have had to turn the air conditioner on. That's right, here it is, the 13th day of November, and my truck is saying 79 degrees. But we've got, on this particular farm, a lot of good bucks. We seen this morning a buck over around this point on the north end of the farm actually breeding a doe. And that really does encourage me that when you've got a doe in heat like that, the other boys are going to be looking for her. And last night we sat at the south end of this and watched all evening about 8 or 9 deer, a shooter buck come out. So we're actually going to leave our old man stand behind. We're going to have to go in here and set up on the ground. We've got about 4 hours before it gets dark, and we're just going to see what happens. But never would have believed we'd have 80-degree temperature here almost mid-November.
$249 yards. It's a long poke in the wind.
Bob and Josh had been sitting there a couple of hours when the does they spooked earlier came running back their way.
Comes the third one. Here comes another one, a buck. There's the buck right there. See? Well, maybe our luck's turning around. We walked in and these deer was bedded right here, and across the field they went. Well, Steve is hunting on the north of that other piece of woods. So when he went in on the other side, he just spooked him and came back. And when he came back, there's a mature buck with him. Now we have back in our woods is a plus. We've got 6 does and 1 buck. So that's a good thing. Now, if they do anything like they did last night, if they're going to pattern like they did last night and do what the game book says they're supposed to do, they're going to go in there, they're going to mill around, they're going to rest, and they're going to come in right out here and work back out here. And hopefully if the does do that, that buck and another buck will follow. That's pretty game plan book.
Over in Ohio, the season is on the way out and cold weather is on the way in.
Tonight we're after a buck that we've nicknamed Snake Bit. Typically I don't name deer and just never really saw much point in it, but you know, the season that we've had up to this point here in Ohio is the pure definition of being snake bit. We've hunted it hard, and then we'll go out of state. They're on their feet and they're moving everywhere. So a couple days ago, darned if it didn't happen again, this buck that showed up back during gun season for the first time made an appearance on this Whitetail Institute food plot during daylight hours. That's him. That's Snake Bit. It's spooked. What the heck?
Scent Blockers Most Wanted is brought to you by Pure Whitetail, one deer directly to one bottle, and Old Oaks Outfitters, Indiana's premier hunting destination. Scent Blockers Most Wanted is brought to you by Ford and your quality Ford dealers. Mossy Oak, it's not a passion, it's an obsession. Tree Spider, the new world of tree stand safety. The Heartland Archery Series, made by hunters for hunters. Finlayson Lake Resort and Campground, making your dreams real. And Doug Myers Taxidermy, the official taxidermist of Scent Blockers Most Wanted.
Just about the entire deer season has gone by, and Aaron has only seen his most wanted once. And not to make any excuses, but I can kind of see how things would get screwed up when you're trying to film yourself hunt and the one deer you've been looking for all season finally shows up.
All right, so last night, just before dark, we had our shot at our most wanted buck, a buck we've been after now for about a month and a half. After getting home and reviewing the footage, even though the shot looked really good, it looked like maybe it was just a tad bit back and we were concerned maybe liver. So instead of taking a chance, we went ahead and stayed out last night. We're back this morning. Temperatures are already on the rise. We're up in the low 30s already. And we're gonna get back on this trail. We still have snow on the ground. So tracking shouldn't be that difficult, and hopefully he bedded down pretty close to the shot and we'll find our deer. Now, looks like maybe it also hit liver, but there's frozen oxygen bubbles in it, so we definitely got both lungs as well. It looks like, or at least one. Deer's right here. It's funny, a couple years ago, Matthews came out with their no cam. By far my favorite bow to date, just as quiet and as forgiving as that bow is. After last night, I can't tell you, I am a believer in the Tri-X. Not only was it forgiving, but it was dead quiet and had the speed that I couldn't be more excited with the technology in this bow. Very, very thankful for the opportunity to shoot the Matthews and the Tri-X. Because this deer, surrounded by nervous does, did not drop the string and ran 30 yards. Beautiful, beautiful Ohio deer. And I think that that ends my 2017 archery deer season.
We got a big buck right here. It's a good one. 226 yards. Are you on him? tree right now. He's behind the tree. Are you on him? He's going to the right. Come on, take him. That's what you call dropping them like a sack of taters, and that is a good buck. That is the buck we've seen the first morning. Great, big, heavy rat. Went right out across here. We moved, we set up, and we're losing light, so we're gonna go real quick. We're gonna jump out here and go take a look at him so we can see him before it gets too dark on us.
Well, another good mature buck that we've taken, you know. Steve here has got a lot of big quality deer. He's got a 12, 13 pointer that's in the Booner class that he's seen. We've seen another monster deer yesterday. This deer isn't as big as I thought it was, but it's a big mature body deer, respectable deer, and anybody's most wanted.